Hello everybody, Frankie Day here in YouTube. Okay fellas, it's Tuesday evening. This is video 4, the final reveal for my USS Princeton CVL-23. And the splendid colors of 5S. And so this will be the final reveal. Okay fellas, a lot was done on this thing. You know, I assumed, which I made a fool out of myself, you know, that I thought I had this thing done by last weekend, but wasn't no way, Jose. I could get this thing done by this weekend. There's so much other stuff on there. I forgot the glue on there, the other parts, the sundries and such. And I had to complete my air wing and everything like that, and do the rigging, and the decals work, and mount it on the stem. There was a lot to do. Ain't no way. Even at gunpoint, I couldn't be able to get this thing done last weekend. So it's done now, fellas. And it's time to move on, along with the USS Alabama, which I'm doing too. Okay guys, for the finishing touch on the USS Princeton, I went down to Hobby Lobby and bought me a baseboard. They're about $7 to $8 a shot. They're real nice display baseboards. They make real nice baseboards. Also, incidentally too, I went and bought a bunch of these down at Home Depot. They didn't have none of these down there at the, they probably did. I probably overlooked it down the Hobby Lobby. But I got a bunch of half-inch square strip stock here, and I cut these per size for the ways, so, as you'll see demonstrated on the USS Princeton once we take a peek at the final review. So they're about $1 a shot, so not bad, fellas. Here's a tip right there, and a lot of rigging done on it, and there's just a lot of work. So I got her done, fellas, and she's mounted on her permanent berthing spot. And I got her on her ways with a nice stand I got. And with that little platform I got before, I went and airbrushed some golden stain on it, because it comes pine, unfinished, so you can stain it any color you wish. So I chosen that mini wax over there, golden oak, which sets up quite nicely. Okay guys, we're going to go over and take a look at the USS Princeton right here. Alright fellas, I'll try to zoom in very, very slowly. There she's right there in her entirety right there. And as you can see, the display base it's on, I got that Hobby Lobby. Again, repeating, I use the strips stock right here. And that strip stock right there is good for the waves right here, which I use right here, as you can see. That was all done using that strip stock, cut to shape any way you want it, using the Mighty Mite saw, which I use my little Mighty Mite I had for years. It's old dependable, it's never failed me. And so you take these and glue it down on this board here. Once it's dry, you can spray, give it coats of your stain of choice. So I chose golden oak. Okay fellas, we'll get up a little bit, we'll get a little closer to the flight deck here, and put a can out of here a little bit. You can see a TPF right there on the catapult just being launched, prop spinning. Flaps ain't down, so he may hit the drink. It's hard to say what he'll do. But right behind it, you got a TBF coming up in its place. Wings are folded, and it's coming up that hangar bay, and the wings will be unfolded and extended and locked, and you have to put the catapults, the chicken wire on top of the catapults right there for the TBS to be launched. And if it's ZDAP on the flight line, you can see more TBS on there. Some of the wings folded, and you can see the small tiny island that the USS Princeton incorporated. That was the design of the Independence class light carriers, such as USS Princeton. As we go up, we can see those nice little F4F Wildcats that Mr. Busing sent to me, and they got a good home now. They're on the flight deck of this carrier right here, and I think they'll really enjoy being there. And also it fits the element, being on the flight deck. Now, the flight deck, fellas, like I said, I use Norfolk stain. I stain that flight deck. First you prime the decks after it's primed. You go ahead and spray teak wood on there. When it's dry, you go ahead and give it a wash. And once the wash is all done, you can be able to make a deck look like it's supposed to be. It's TVS has all been airbrushed, fellas. It took me 6 hours to paint all these TVS. I kid you not, these TVS consist of 12 parts. And I kid you not, fellas, you talk about pulling some eyebrow hair up, these TVS will do. They got some with the wings that actually extended, which these are, and some are folded. And of course, as we go aft, you can see the F4F Wildcats on the flight deck right there. And we'll go out a close up here. See, I toned down that dark sea blue using grays. That grays right there tunes it off. It really blends it out a little bit because, like I say, these blues don't last very long in salt water, guys. They fade real fast. There's something about the hues, I don't know, but as you can see in this case, this thing started to turn like a haze gray like it usually was. So during 1941, they painted all these things 5S dark sea blue. So this is the 1942 version of the USS Princeton. She probably participated in the USS, probably at the Battle of Midway. And these were actually pressed in the service really fast, these light carriers. And they're made from ex-cruiser hulls. In this case, it's the USS Tallahassee. And during the Washington Treaty Program, you're only allowed to have so many capital ships. So we're building them pretty fast, but we're going against their rules. And so the rules was so many of this and so much of that. So aircraft carriers be a good idea. So what they did, they instead of wasting all the taxpayers' money on building something we won't be able to do nothing with, except making something an accessory, which is an aircraft carrier, such as this here. And you can see how I cut those waves out. It was all the way up to the screws. This is a Dragon kit, fellas. For folks, if you fellas out there want to know what kit it is, I'll tell you one thing. These Dragon kits, they're nice kits, but their instructions, they really smell. I mean, they're very, everything about them, they're completely garbled. You just got to really look at them to get a good understanding how that goes together. This model here consists of over 1,300 pieces. And they don't give you enough fretwork for your railings on it. They give you this stuff on top of the catwalks where your 20 and 40 millimeters and also your gun directors are at on next to the flight deck. And the hatch covers were all photo brass. Gives a little bit of a 3D effect. But after all in all, this is a good model, 1/350 scale, which is not too big, not too small, just right. It does take some room, so you got to have a nice place where you can display this to keep it from being disturbed from the elements of dust and people with pointing fingers. And that's about the worst enemy any of these models can actually suffer from. Because I've seen a lot of guys stick their fingers in and they pull it back and they'll see that nice rigging right there. Pretty you can snap off that rigging right there. And not a very pretty picture. I've seen that done at a model show one time, fellas. Some guy had a model of the SS President Calvin Coolidge, the old dollar line. It's an old ocean liner they'd use out there in Pacific. It's like a cruise ship from the 1930s and the 20s. And he had some real nice fine rigging on there. Some guy stuck his finger out there pointing at it. And when he pulled it back, it snagged one of those stays that came off the yard arm, not the yard arm, but the mast, and busted it. And boy, that next thing you know, you hear the guy starts yelling and stuff. And so, like I say, I kind of bowed out. I don't want to get involved in that, but I know where that guy came from, all that work. So, like I say, fellas, best thing you do with these jobs here, you go ahead and put them dust covers. So this will be going dust cover too. So I got some plexiglass I'm having cut right now. Okay, guys, I'm seeing this camera to yours truly here and finish up the video. Alrighty then. Okay, guys, that completes video 4 of the winter build of the Dragon 1350 USS Princeton's CVL-23 is completed. And right now I'm still working on the trumpeter USS Alabama, my BB-60. And I got the decks all pretty well stained on it, all done, assembling the turrets as of right now. And so I got all the superstructure, all the sprues all been pre-primed. So I got a whole batch of haze gray that I mixed over here using my paint chips from my coloring jacket right here. I'll show you. I think I showed you fellas one time before on this. If I haven't, I'll show you again. Yeah, so a couple charts came out. I've got these color sheets right here. And this is my haze gray that I matched, which is on my Alabama. So these are good paint chips here, fellas. So you can match your paints to these chips here. So I use that to mix my paint for the Alabama. And it works pretty good. So I got the camo done. And I have a video of that tomorrow. And warned, I mentioned something about Martin's going to host a 1/24 scale Hawker Typhoon Airfix Typhoon Bunny build. So if anybody out there's got one of those in your stash pile and want to participate, I'm afraid I think Mr. Martin will approve and says give you the green light, the thumbs up to join in, and we all get cracking on them. And so it's going to be one hell of a build, I'll tell you that. That's a very complex kit, fellas. I looked at mine, you know, and I looked at it and said, man, there's a lot of pieces, this bad boy. And with an expensive price on it, too. So, that's probably in the agenda. So as soon as Martin or Warren gives me the green light and the thumbs up, we're going to go ahead and participate in that. And I can work on some ship models, too, to finish up on. So as of now, guys, I'm still working on my USS Alabama. I may get started on something else. If I do, I'll make a video and announce that along with the builds. I'm going to look at these 1/700 scale waterline kits that I got for Christmas. And I went down there to Lowell's. I got me some of this kind of glass fits on top of it. It's some kind of a plastic cover, dust cover is the cover, light cover fits on top of the lights on top of the ceiling. These make good water. I do spray the outside and the inside of it with the blue, with a light clear blue. You use different greens with it too. You get a 3D effect. And so it makes a good purpose display to put your 1/700 scale. I got a piece cut here somewhere. I made for the USS California. It's, as a matter of fact, it's right here. Yeah, I cut that. So, it's cut very easy, fellas. All you gotta use a steel rule and a sharp number 11 blade and score it. Don't cut all the way through. Just make a couple swipes and make quite certain that motor does not slip. Because this surface right here is very wavy. It's wavy on both sides. So you want to make quite certain that you don't ship that ruler when you cut this out. Once you score that line on there, it'll snap off just like sheet plastic, which is virtually the same thing. So go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and get some of this stuff, fellas. Runs about $5-6. It makes good simulated water. And take this and mount this on a nice piece of wood, and give you a little plus on your 1/700 scale plates out there. Just a tip, fellas. Just a tip. Okay, man. I'm going to get finished with this video right here, and that'll be that. And so tomorrow I'll make a video of the USS Alabama. So I'll probably get cracking on that tonight a little bit. So I get the superstructures and everything all pre-painted with haze gray, because I got to be able to camo this at the same time. So I got my templates I made in advance so I can use all my camo on top of my superstructure. Then I'm going to take my airbrush and I'm going to go ahead and feather out the modified measure 12 paint scheme we have, and tone down those dark sea gray. Okay guys, this is Frankie Day signing off. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. May God bless. This completes video number 4 for my USS Princeton winter build. I make Mama happy. And so stay tuned tomorrow for another video of the USS Alabama BB-60. Bye boys. Take care fellas. We'll see you tomorrow boys.